Welcome to this video on the Canva share options. Share means a lot of things in Canva. It could mean adding collaborators, both editors, viewers, reviewers. It also is a generic way of saying, how do I export my product, whether that's via a link or a download or a print. So we're going to look at some of those options here. Once you have completed your Canva project and you're ready to share that, or maybe you want some feedback or you want some help, there are some ways to do that. In the top right-hand corner up here, the first thing we'll start with is next to my initials, there is a plus button. That plus button will simply add people, or I can share the design. So let's just say, for example, I want to share, and you can share via email. If you have email stored in your classroom or in your Canva classes, it'll pull those, but more than likely you'll probably have to type those in. Very similar to Google, you can change the permissions. So this person right now could fully edit this design. They can also make comments, or we can just change them to be a viewer. You can uncheck or check the send notification, and much like Google, you can add a message. When you hit share, then it's going to send an email to them notifying them that they've been added as a viewer, an editor, whatever it happens to be, with a link to that project specifically. If and when they're on it and they're working, you'll see their logo or their initials up here appear as well. Probably the most frequently used option is the share button itself in the top right-hand corner here. So we're going to click share. And then there's a lot of options. The first of which is very similar to what we just did, which is add people and their access. So it takes us right to that same email. But if I want to be able to actually copy the link, which we're going to look at later in our exploration challenge, I can go ahead and I can alter who has. So a lot of times when we want to share the links with those projects or those products, we'll click the share button. We'll come down here and we'll say anyone with the link can access that. And then we'll hit copy. Now you notice you can change my permission. So maybe I want to just be a viewer and I want to copy that. Now what that's going to do is send a specific Canva link so that it's going to take that person into Canva to look at that project. So we'll use that later on in the exploration challenge for your project creation this week. But again, that is share and then decide who you want to be able to see it and then what permissions they have. And then you'll hit copy that link and then you can go paste that link wherever you want to. Probably the most utilized, I think, or universally usable way is to physically download your project. So when we're here and we're ready, you can click share. And instead of using the share design, I can come here and I can go to download. When I click download, then it's going to give me in this drop down some different options for downloading and kind of suggestions for what that's for. So a PNG is an image file. You'll notice here that's what they suggest for this. JPEG is also an image file. So those are two options for downloading. A PDF, if you've got an infographic or a document, maybe you've got a presentation and you want to download that, but that's an option there. Also, then there's some other options. If you created a video or a GIF or whatever it happens to be, you can even download it in PowerPoint format if you created a presentation. So those are there. Let's say I suggest I want this PNG file. It gives me some options on the size or the quality of that, some other things. And then I would just hit download. That's going to take a second or two and it's going to download then that specific thing. And then however you manage those downloads for yourself, you'll see now it's an image file. I can open that. It opens in my image viewer that way, and then I can do whatever I need to, whether that's save or move those around. So that's a download option, probably the most popular one there. There are some additional options. I can get a public view link. I can go and I can hit print. That's going to take me out to some print options where I can physically have my project printed on items through a third party that Canva uses. Maybe I want my bookmark on a tumbler, right? Or I want to make a tote bag or whatever it is, but I can physically actually order my print or my project added onto something that can be printed. There are some additional under the see all dot. There are some options for like some embed website options, a QR code specifically to that project. So those are lesser known or lesser used share options, but there's a lot of different things or a lot of different ways to be able to use that share. You can also link it to specific social media things where you can do a direct share from Canva instead of downloading it and then re-uploading it into those platforms. But lots of share options in Canva.